Hello and welcome to Lessons for Worship. My name is David, and today I'm going to go over the lead electric guitar parts for the song How Deep the Father's Love for Us by Austin Stone Worship. This song is in the key of G, and the BPM is 110. Now, before I get into the actual parts of the song, let's take a look at the effects that are going on here. At the beginning of my single chain, I have a compression enabled. It's very subtle, but I want to give the guitar a little bit extra sustain. So with my clean tone only, and just the compression on, it should sound something like this. Okay, next in my single chain, I have an octave pedal. Now this is so during the solos or the interludes of the song, you're going to cut through just a little bit more. No low octave enabled, 100% dry mix, and the high octave should be around 50 to 60%. So with that turned on, it should sound something like this. Okay, so next let's talk about our overdrives. I have two stages of overdrive. First, I have a low gain overdrive, so clean tone right here. First stage of overdrive. Okay, next I have a medium gain overdrive for my second stage. I'm actually using a tube screamer here, and with that stacked on my first overdrive, it should sound something like this. All right, next let's talk about our delay. I have a quarter note tape delay, so as the note tapers off, it's going to get a little bit darker, and I have around 5 to 6 repeats, so it should sound something like this. Okay, lastly, my reverb. I'm using a big hall reverb. If you have an ambient cloud reverb, that'll work really well here too. The decay is around 2.5 to 3 seconds with a slight bit of pre-decay, and it's a medium mix. So it should sound something like this. Okay, and those are the effects. So now that we've looked at those, let's go ahead and talk about the parts of the song. To begin, you're going to flip to your neck pickup. You're going to have your reverb, your delay, and your first stage of overdrive turned on. And you're going to be hanging out around the 12th fret a good bit of the song. What I like to do is to keep my index finger or my first finger barred across the G and the B string on the 12th fret. And then I like to use my ring finger on the 14th fret. So starting on the 12th fret of the G string, 14th fret on the G string, 12th fret on the B string. Okay, so for this song, the time signature is in 6/4. So you're going to play here, it's 2 eighth notes and a quarter note, and you're playing that 3 times, and that's 1 bar. Okay, you're going to play 4 bars of that for the intro. Now going to the first verse, you're going to continue to play that for half the first verse. As you get to the second half of the first verse, you're going to add in your pinky and your middle finger. So what I like to do here is, as I get to the second half, I'm going to go start on the 15th fret of the B string. Then I'm going to use my middle finger on the 13th fret of the B string. Then back to the 12th fret. Back to the 15th fret. And then you're going to transition to the interlude. Now for the interlude, you're going to flip to your bridge pickup, and you're going to turn on your octave pedal and your second stage of overdrive. So you really want to cut through here. And let me go ahead and play that first, and then I'll break it down. Okay, so for the interlude, you're going to start on the 5th fret of the D string, slide up to the 7th fret of the D string, and then to the 7th fret of the G string. So for the first time through, you're just dropping back to the 4th fret of the G string, and then for the second time through, you're stopping at the 5th fret and then the 4th fret. and that's the interlude. Now for the second verse, you're going to flip back to your neck pickup, turn off your octave pedal and your second stage of overdrive, and you're going to be playing that little picking part again. Now here, the pattern is a little bit different. If you listen to it, you'll notice that it's going back and forth between these notes. So the way I remember it, referencing my fingers on the B string and the frets, is 12, 13, 12, 15, 12, 13, 12, 15, 12, 13, 12, 15. Okay, so you're going to do that. So let me play that real quick. Okay, so you're playing that for most of the second verse. As you get to the last 3 bars of the second verse, you're going to just do a little walk up here, so 12, 13, 15, and then you're going to transition to the second interlude. Okay, so flip back to your bridge pickup, turn on your octave pedal on your second stage overdrive. Now here you play a little bit more than the first time through. So you're going to play that first part. And then you play the second part 3 times through because there's a tag before you get to the verse, the third verse. That's the tag. On this last note here, you want to hold it for as long as you can. You want to let it ring out because you're going into a down verse in verse 3. On my pedal board, I actually have a swell setting, so this enables a few other reverbs and delays, and it'll let this note ring out for another 2 or 3 bars as you're getting into the down verse. Now at this point, if you are the only electric guitarist, what I would recommend is that you just come in big on that D note. So I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, nor wisdom. Okay, and then you're going to play and then to the G. So you're just playing diamonds here as you transition into the main part of the final verse. Okay, now if you are the lead electric guitarist and you have a rhythm guitarist with you, what I normally do is I go back to my neck pickup and I'm just going to play that little picking part again like I did in the second verse, and then I'm going to build into the biggest part of the song, which is the last part of the verse. So let me play that for you real quick. Building here, and then you're going to switch to your bridge pickup, and then you're going to play the main part of the song, the biggest part of the song, which is like the interlude, but it's a little bit different because you're going higher up on the notes. So let me play that for you real quick, and then we'll break it down. As you saw, it's very similar to the original interlude, but you're just sliding up. So you're starting on the 5th fret of the D string, sliding up to the 7th fret of the D string, going to the 7th fret of the G string. So, and then you're going on the 5th fret of the G string. And what I like to do here is just, it's fun to do, is just slap to the 12th fret. If you prefer, you can just go to the 8th fret of the B string, which is still that G note. That's a little easier for you if you're not as comfortable sliding up that far. And then you're going to play that again. And then 7th fret. You can slide to the 11th fret, or you can go to the 7th fret on the B string. So then you play that again. And then you play some 8th notes here before you get to the tag of the verse. Okay, then as you get to the tag of the final verse, you're going to play quarter notes. So let me play that for you real quick and we'll break it down. So as you saw, just kind of that same pattern you've been using for the interlude. 5th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the G string. Then and you're going to play 8th notes right there and just let that ring out. And then you're getting to the last part of the song. So what I like to do here, you're going back to your neck pickup, turn off your second stage of overdrive and your octave pedal, and then you're going to play this little picking part like you did in the first verse. There's a tag. And I like to end with that D note right there. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like more lessons like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you don't miss my next guitar tutorial. And if you have a Line 6 Helix, I've actually made a preset for this song for both the lead and rhythm guitar. If you'd like to check that out, go ahead and click in the description below, and hopefully it'll save you a lot of time dialing in your tone. Thank you so much. See you soon.